Here we have a new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado EV. Now this one comes in the Trail Boss trim level. This one is a max range, so the biggest battery you can get on this one in particular. Black on black with Artemis Evo Tex interior. You get an electric motor on each axle, up to 350 kilowatts, DC fast charge speed. So we're gonna take a look at her here. As we come around to the front end here, we do get that LED light bar along with our LED headlamps. And the lights don't dance like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up. But I love the front fascia of the Trail Boss. Big thing being these red recovery hooks, but also just the badging, just how the Silverado EV sets in general is just a really nice and rugged truck. Down here to these wheels, these are gonna be 18-inch aluminum. We get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. To the door panel here, power door lock controls, memory seat function. We get one touch up and down windows in the front, and then we have express down in the back. Power folding side mirrors with blind spot monitors. Bose premium sound system, bottle holders. And then over here we have our electronic parking brake, frunk, and then the tailgate there. And then we have our trailer brake controller, power tilt telescoping steering wheel. But here's the power driver's seat with 4-way power lumbar support. But I want to give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the front seat adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so sitting behind myself, pretty good space here. Seat back pockets are on both sides. I'm gonna leave this window, I'll leave the door open. Hold on one second. I think the child lock's on. But I'm gonna leave the door open so we can get better lighting in here. It's tinted in the back, which isn't a bad thing, but for filming, not the best. 3-stage heated outboard seats, vents, 2 USB-C charge ports, and then a 3-prong household plug-in. Pretty nice size storage pocket there. Bottle holders. There's a view of the front from back here. And there's that beautiful glass roof. And then we have the middle seat that folds down for the bottle holders. And now we're going to show you how to use the midgate. So we can fold all this down. It's actually going to be hard without 2 hands because you need it to fold that, but you pull this down, and then once that's folded flat into the floor, you can activate that midgate in the back, and then you can actually run longer objects through the cargo space all the way up front here. So it's a 4-step process, but again, it's pretty easy to do. You just need 2 hands for that. Then our charge ports here. Again, up to 350 kilowatts on a DC fast charger. And as we come around to the back end here, we get our full LED tail lights. So you can fold down the top part of the liftgate here, or the whole part here. And then you can use it to step up. But one of the coolest things about this is the power that you can get from the truck. So you can plug in a 220. You have 4 120s that you can access. And you basically can power your home off of this truck. Or what I like to do, hook it up to maybe like an old camper or a tiny house or something like that. And you can use that as your power source. And then here's a look from the passenger side, the rear passenger side, excuse me. And yeah, your child locks are here, so lock, unlock there. And then here's our front passenger seat. So glad we get 4-way power lumbar support as we do on the driver's side. You get these side pockets on both sides, and it's actually pretty deep in there. And then top pocket. And then we have a lockable glove compartment right in there. Now as we come back around to the front, There's a look in the frunk itself. We have our charger here, tire inflator kit there. And then I like that we put these bottle holders here, nice tailgating atmosphere, if you will, especially as the sun goes down. If it's hot, you can use this as kind of a shade, plug in a speaker or a computer here, and then have your drinks there. Now before we hop in, just gonna show you the turn signals. So there's the back, side, and the front. But now let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. Now to get the front to go down, you do have to hold the button here. You can't just tap it. So but it goes down relatively quickly. Now here we have the leather wrap steering wheel, Super Cruise indicator, Super Cruise sensor here. There's the horn. Now over here to the screen, this is kind of the charging menu here. We can go through all of that there, set up your home location and whatnot. Vehicle status is here. You can see the tire pressure monitors, the energy info and all of that, or you can click within the vehicle itself to see some of that. And this little animation here, which is pretty neat. Drive modes are here. So you have your My mode, normal, off-road, tow haul, terrain. And then you have the Z mode here. You can activate that. And then Google Assistant. You get dual zone automatic climate controls. You can adjust those from down here at all times, along with the 3-stage heated cooled seats. And then you have buttons and knobs down below here if you want to use those. And then, I just did that. Wi-Fi hotspot, automatic park assist is there. And then we do have our trailering menu here, so you can pull that up and then add a trailer, use accessories, so you can go through the light test and all of that there. Plenty of different camera views. You have a bird's eye view or a top-down view, and then you have rear camera, front camera, bed view camera, trailering camera. So a lot of different views there. And then in your settings, you can change your vehicle settings here, which include teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive. You have your Super Cruise lane change as well. And then you can also scroll down to your system settings, and those include changing your language and your units of measurement there. Now, no CarPlay or Android Auto here, but we do get AM, FM, XM radio, Bluetooth, Google News. And your controls are in here. So quite a bit that you can fool with here if you want to. And then your garage door transmitters there. You have 6 auxiliary switches you can access. And then your lights are on the screen, but you always have a shortcut while the vehicle's on. If you click that, you can use those there. And then you don't have push button start, but you can keep the vehicle on for 60 minutes or cut the vehicle off manually here. Otherwise, when you get in and hit the brake, the vehicle will come on. And after you stop the vehicle, after putting it in gear and get out, once in park, it'll cut off. Now down here, wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C ports, 12 volt, bottle holders, storage, and then your traditional center console cubby space with a USB-C port. There's a look at the back from up here. Your hazards right up here. Rear camera mirror. And then here's the vanity mirror. But back to the steering wheel, left side stock. Your wipers are there, fluid, and then the shifters on the right side. Hit the brake, pull for neutral, pulling up for reverse, pulling down for drive. Press that for park. You have your regenerative braking when you're not in one pedal mode. You can toggle that strength there. And then behind on the left side, you can go through the track list or radio station presets. Behind on the right side, we can do volume up, volume down. You get Super Cruise, so you can turn on the lane or the hands-free lane centering there. You can hold this cancel button and go between adaptive and regular cruise and vice versa. And then you can adjust the gap for the adaptive cruise and the forward collision alert here. Set your speed there. To activate the full-on Super Cruise, once you have the indicator, press that there. And then also turns the hands-free lane centering on and off. heated steering wheel, and then you have your audio sources you can go through. And then you have your mute, Bluetooth, voice recognition, again, heated steering wheel, and then you can go through the gauge cluster menus there, the views there, I guess, the gauge faces. Now up front, up top here, excuse me, we have the heads-up display, if you can see that. Then finally, here is our key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this Silverado EV Trail Boss Max Range out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the Silverado EV Trail Boss, have it in the Z mode now, so you kind of have that sound that goes with it, but I'm going to adjust the mode here, and let's just put it into the normal mode. So it kind of makes everything a bit quieter. I'm gonna put into that Z mode once I get on the interstate, but you can kind of see this is how the vehicle's driven most of the time. You have that propulsion sound that's typical of an electric vehicle. But I'm gonna put it into Z mode again. At least that's what it is on the Blazer EV. I don't know exactly what it's called on here. They all have different names, the boost setting for these electric vehicles, but here we go. So there you have it. It's not slow. Very quick. Insanely quick. But I want to give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But one of the reasons I feel like the Silverado EV is one of the best EVs on the market is you get this hands-free lane centering, you get the Super Cruise, if you will, and you're getting almost 500 miles on a charge as well in a pickup truck. So just incredible usability there. Can tow up to 10,000 pounds. Now that will limit your range, obviously, just plan to cut it in half. But people like me, I like to use the bed of my truck. I don't really like to tow. So it's still a practical vehicle from that perspective. If you have, let's say, a GMC Sierra or something like that that's gas powered, and you just want to go electric, specifically if you have a solar farm or something like that, or if you have cheap electricity like we do here in Tennessee, you'll save a lot of money on fuel every year just by going electric. But the power and just the torque and everything, I wouldn't go back to a gas-powered vehicle after driving an electric one, unless you do a lot of driving and you're worried about the charging infrastructure. Now I'm gonna turn on the one pedal brake here. This is just like how I like to drive most of the time. I've had it in the normal setting for the regen, but I like it, again, set to one pedal. And it just kind of makes it easier to use the maximum regen. And it's kind of just fun to one pedal, in my opinion. But for a little over 90 grand, I feel like, I have to use my words carefully. A lot of people don't like or are scared of EVs because of just the stigma kind of around them, the charging infrastructure being terrible, and just people don't want to go to their, I'm not driving an electric car and all this stuff like that. But these are so practical. I can tell you I have almost 80, well, no, I went over 80,000 yesterday. I have 80,000 miles on my Mustang Mach-E, and I have not had an issue out of that. I drive the heck out of that car. The only thing I go through is tires. They're so easy to drive. They're so easy to maintain. They're so efficient if you think about it, especially for most of us making 20, 30 miles max, you know, making that kind of trip to work. If you plug in a 220 outlet and it might cost you $1,000, you just got to make sure you don't get ripped off by some of these other people. Even if it's $2,000, you keep this car for 20, 25 years, you're going to make that money back so many times. Now, resale value for them is not the best, but I mean, that's all based on the market because nobody wants EVs, especially as the incentives go away for them. But they still make more sense than a gas-powered vehicle 95% of the time. I'm in the market to get a mobile office. I have to drive back and forth to different states for work. So I'm getting a diesel, like Sprinter van for that, something along those lines. Other than that, I don't need another vehicle. Road tripping in these is so much easier because we have access to Tesla's charging infrastructure now. So all you need is an adapter. And I did that this past weekend on my Mach-E, and it just made it so much easier to get to where I was going. But I mean, other than that, these things are really, they're the future. They really are. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Silverado EV Trail Boss Max Range.